They made it. Dizzler sitting pretty, that Jumong mastery over there. Pretty cool to see all these boys on LAN sitting next to each other. Bloom's just like, I want play.
Yep, I'm just enjoying the in-game chat banter. I bet the audience wishes they could see that, but probably.
It is. We've had things. There are reasons that you cannot see that.
Oh yeah, the first thing we do is disable chat now when we come to Europe.
What's up, Naraga? How are you doing, Naraga?
He's probably doing less good because he's just handing over half of his wallet to Bacado right now.
Yeah, pretty much. So once again, we're having some technical issues. As you can see on the screen, we'll be back with the game in just a short seconds. We recognize how unfortunate it is that it is in the grand finals, but we appreciate you guys sticking here with us. How's that water?
Yeah, it's pretty good. It can only do so much, though. We're getting there.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have made it back. Thank you so much for those of you who stuck around. We appreciate you. We need you. We would be lonely without you. Now we got some Battlerite. We're back to our grand finals. Of course, this is game 2. Spacestation Gaming is up 1 game. Let's get back into it, Crooks.
I'm very excited to just see how these future rounds play out. You know, 2 rounds just at the start of a game doesn't necessarily tell the story about where all of this is headed. So again, a little bit skeptical about where it's going, but I'm excited to see.
Yep. You can call
why they pay you the big bucks.
Yeah.
For sure.
The esports dollars.
Esports money.
All right. 2-0 is the round score in this game 2, of course. Blackstone Day is our map. Proster, Bloom, Averse, repping Space Station Gaming and Impact, an unsponsored team. Dizzler, Gaddafi, and Vague on the left side of the map. We'll see if we get back into it. We'll see if Space Station Gaming's downtime will help them figure out an answer. Already, it's looking like it won't, as a pull from Vague leads into a huge punish.
Wow, he's going in just so deep. Proster on the back line, attempting to navigate this. Unfortunately, got to misreach the petrifying. Proster trapped in the double rain of arrows is going to go for the leap. Going to be able to iframe the rest of Older's damage output as Vague just slugging around behind him.
A beautiful orb take by Dizzler, and the Older ultimate coming out here. The Prowl's available, though, and now in an uncomfortable situation is Bloom. He has to space so far away, and the answer is Gaddafi's ultimate. The punish is huge, and the pull leads into an empowered M1. He's sitting on 24 HP, Crooks. All of his heal charges being expended on himself. This is not ideal for an Older comp.
Yeah, I can't believe they were able to make it out of that with Bloom alive. Very surprising. Both bubbles going down. Proster in the backline desperately trying to get some damage, but he hasn't really been able to find that opening yet. Sort of swiping away with his really weak normal M1s on the Older. It feels like he hasn't been able to harass Gaddafi to the extent that we were hoping he'd be able to.
Oh, so much damage onto Bloom, and that Sinister Strike gonna finish him off immediately when his Time Bender is down. And Space Station Gaming, they had a minute to think about it, and maybe a minute wasn't long enough. The Impact Steamroller is still here.
Yeah, they're absolutely still playing just as calm, just as calculated as they were before. You'd think, you know, a first game like that might be a little bit unsettling for Impact. You veil this Jamila pick for such a long time. You bust it out, you get crushed 5-2. You know, where do you go from that? Do you maybe feel like you're out of options? Nah. Just back to the old standby.
Yeah, just back to the old standby. And Impact, maybe it's all they needed. Space Station Gaming are going to have to think of something quick, though. We talked about how the minor comp change and the huge change in the way of playstyle was affecting Impact's results. We'll see if Space Station Gaming can think of a different way to play that can lead to that for themselves. The pull, this time from Vague, not going to land in a much more shaky start from Vague, but he doesn't care, man. Look at this aggression from the Rukon. He goes in, but he gets punished, as do the rest of Impact. Proster, relatively unscathed in this backline, and he's just doing croak things, man. Going all over the place, stealing damage and causing havoc. He gets a stun onto Gaddafi, and the damage output from Proster is unreal. Impact, they're not going to get the orb, and they're falling very far behind here.
Yeah, much more successful round for Proster. Nice iframe by Averse as well. They're starting to handle Vague quite a bit better. Proster just playing the wall at the top. Very smart, putting the Fear of God into Dizzler, and Gaddafi pushed off back so far. Gaddafi no longer has space, holding on to that Older ultimate over here. Dizzler on the run now, though. They're laying so much damage into him, and Gaddafi still holding that Older ultimate. He's going to be using it on the Venom Wound here to iframe the damage.
Oh no, the Croak! He might get burst down, but Bloom has the ultimate available. Proster wisely chooses to get out. He doesn't pick up the greens right next to him, though, going right back in to help out his team. He now backs out, gets the green shards, and with it, a decent amount of true HP healing. Gaddafi off. He doesn't land that Petrify. A beautiful prediction from Proster. He backs up, but on the other side of the map, Bloom goes down, Crooks.
Yep, and they're going to be able to trade off for a kill on Dizzler. It's now Averse and Proster. Double DPS versus older Rukon. This is going to be nearly impossible for them, I think, unless they're able to make a kill happen. But no, God reads the stun perfectly. Nice space. Vague in the front line. Going to pop the ultimate. The older ult comes as well. Nicely cleaned up by Impact.
A beautiful older ultimate. Godolph was spamming those heal charges on himself to ensure he could get the energy, recognizing the importance of that older ultimate. Such a game-changing ability against Croak, because if you sense him going on you or you see him stun your other ally, you can just older ultimate yourself and get right out of there or save your ally. Such a huge and impactful ability, and we see why there is. It ensures Godolph doesn't go down to the pressure, and Impact 4-0.
Man, they've changed this up so much. Vague's just oppressive Rukon play is really, really fun to watch. The way he moves around the map, all the little things he has in his bag of tricks are just doing wonders for them right now in this second game versus SSG.
Dizzler not doing a great job handling Godolph, or not Godolph, but rather Proster down here. Proster having a great time. He doesn't land that spit though, and that's actually very impactful for his sustain. He desperately needs some healing, and he's getting some damage out now onto the older, but on the other side of the map, Vague trading very favorably against this Jumong, and Impact get the first orb.
Yeah, they're having such a difficult time. Even dealing the 2v1 against Vague, walks out with a totally fine amount of HP in the backline. CCing Proster, he's looking for that stun, does manage to find it. What's the follow-up going to be? Vague going to pop that ultimate, maybe a little bit hopeful. They've got to be careful. The offensive older ulti on top of Vague in that beast form. Dizzler's going to go in with his own older ultimate as well.
Yeah, Dizzler going in, and on the other side, Averse taking so much damage from the Rukon. Rukon having such a high impact. A beautiful ally pull there to get Dizzler away from the enemy. The double rain of Averse 2 dealing so much damage to the Kroken, completely ruining his camouflage. His camouflage with no movement speed, not going to have any impact, but still Dizzler's getting so low, Crooks, sitting on only 54 HP. Older, Bloom gonna drop his ultimate on himself, but then immediately after Averse falls, and I cannot believe that this round is still going on. Godolph goes down in the trade, and now the Sinister Strike is not available. The older going to die, Bloom is gone, but an Impact going to manage to still take the round.
5-0 from Impact after a dominant first round by SSG.
Dude, and how do you feel about this when, like, you pick the Croak that so hardly dominated the older in the match prior? Like, if you're Spacestation Gaming, you gotta be scratching your head a little bit here.
Well, this is rough for them now because, as we predicted, you know, Impact so flexible. The draft was just going to be such an important aspect. We saw, you know, in the last two games, the older picks just coming out one after another over and over again. And SSG, their adaptation to that really was the Croak. And if that's not going to work out, it's a little bit interesting. It felt like the Rukon, the interference from just Vague all over your backline constantly with all of his different suppressing and displacing abilities there. It was just too much to deal with. And Proster, despite on the backline doing a decent amount of damage, a decent amount of crowd control, it wasn't enough.
Yeah, absolutely. And when we panned over the players, seeing Vague, that 16-year-old prodigy, and remembering that he was the killer that was that Rukon, a little bit surprising there. That smiling kid looking a little bit happy on stage was absolutely murdering Spacestation Gaming that last game. We'll see if they can keep it up, though. Do you expect to see a change from Spacestation Gaming? Do you think they'll bring that Croak back into the mix, or do you think a change is due?
It's difficult because we're getting into the danger zone here, because it's clear that Impact, a lot of what they've practiced is kind of to shut down Rook. We talked about it a little bit, the Rukon pick in particular. I think Jamila also a favorable matchup into Rook, sort of understanding a little bit more about how to play against that Rook Iva older. It looks like they've sort of cracked a lot of that stuff. So now, what does SSG look to switch to? Of course, we know Proster has heroes like Jamila, like Shifu in his arsenal. You know, we also have the Croak, we have the Rook, we have the Thorn as well. What he's gonna alternate to at this point, I'm not entirely sure, but I think it is pretty likely that they're going to switch off the Croak.
You know what I'm a little surprised by? We're not seeing the Paloma Thorn at all. The Paloma Thorn was absolutely dominant when Spacestation Gaming played it earlier on, and I talked to Bloom after the match. He was like, why did I stop playing Paloma? He was like, this character is so good. Why am I not playing her? It's a little bit surprising to not see them picking her this match. Maybe something they're holding on to for a little bit while longer. The older picks going to be mirroring each other for the first pick by each team.
I think that's what almost every single draft here is most likely going to look like. I think there's going to be a lot of older mirror first picks. I think it's just too safe. Both teams have shown they're incredibly competent building comps around it, and it also plays into the mind games of what these guys are trying to pick later, specifically to either counter the older or stop the older from getting countered.
Yeah, absolutely. The older just so high impact. Of course, he has that space ability, allows him to get away from his enemies, that cooldown reduction on his time bender. We have a replay of the last match coming up here. Of course, Impact 5-0ing Spacestation Gaming, we have the Titan that is the Rukon here, popping off that ultimate, that die button we formerly know it as, but with Veg, it is only the kill button. He gets a kill on not only a verse, but also Proster immediately after. Very well played by Veg on the Rukon.
I hate how the replays just cut and they catch me stretching. I saw
I did that earlier.
They did it to you when you were up here with Joel. It's very impolite.
It was a very good stretch, though. I needed a stretch. Stretching is important. Remember to stretch your hands, gamers.
Always.
Yeah. That's all you got? Come on, dude. Work with me.
I'm
Work with
agreeing
me,
with you. I'm
Crooks.
saying yes. You don't want none of that carpal tunnel. You crazy?
Game 3, Blackstone Arena Night. We still have the older picks prepared. What do you expect out of this Blackstone Arena Night? We know, of course, the wall real estate is everywhere. Endless amounts of real estate here. Do you expect to see the Jamila pick out of Proster maybe instead of the Croak?
It seems kind of interesting. Blackstone Knight is a really funky map in the way that it has the pockets down in the bottom left and the top right. It could be a little bit risky for a pick like Jamila, and we are going to see Impact follow with the Rukon, and Space Station is going to go with the Jamila for the second picks. There you go. There is a Jamila in this game.
Hooray! There's a Jamila. Proster going to be playing that Jamila. It's a little questionable against Older, though, of course. The Older having that space available, and of course his Time Bender negating the space bar of Jamila, that in cap that can come out from her, and his ultimate, just in general, very good against the setup that Jamila brings to the table. And if you have a Jamila on your team, that's part of what you want to capitalize. It's like playing with a Croak where you want to be able to combo and get a lot of damage out. And if you just can't do that simply because there's an Older ultimate on the other side, then you're going to have a rough time.
Absolutely, and it seems like Rukon could potentially be a little bit difficult to deal with for Jamila. The last picks are going to be Impact going with the Jumong, so it is going to be Rukon, Jumong, Older versus SSG with that Iva. Older, Iva, Jamila. That seems like a comp that Impact was probably prepping to run in this series a little bit. SSG.
That's exactly what they ran in the first match.
Exactly.
When they got 5-0'd. It's exactly what they brought to the table. We'll see if Space Station Gaming can avoid getting 5-0'd. I really like this Jumong pick out of Dizzler. I feel like after the last game, he just has the utmost confidence in his play on that character for good reason. He looked incredibly good, and against the Older, I really like it. Of course, there are a bit of concern, or there are a couple concerns for it this game. There's things like the Zap Shield to get enemies or allies out of the roots, the bear trap, but still, the double rain of arrow is going to be so impactful against Older, as after he spaces, if he doesn't have ulti, he's kind of just going to eat it.
Oh, yeah, and I think in particular, the Jumong actually seems quite decent against the Iva as well. You know, the Iva is going to run hard, try and be very disruptive, but if at any point Jumong could slow that down, we've seen Iva comps tend to just melt to Jumongs. You know, you push them back, they can't, it's very difficult for them to gain footing.
Yeah, absolutely. The Older picks on both sides, for good reason. Very strong character. The Iva pick, I feel like it could either be very feast or famine. It's either going to have a very high impact or he's just going to die to the rain of arrows and the M1s of Jumong. It'll be very interesting to see if a verse is able to pull it off. The main thing about this Iva pick that I see for Space Station Gaming benefiting them is Proster. Of course, Proster, if you ever find himself in a very unfavorable situation, maybe up against Veg, where Veg has the M1 button held down and Proster's just eating them all, that Zap Shield going to be a great way of getting Proster out of that situation.
Yeah, for sure. And I like the cleanse on Jamila in the same way that I like it on Rook, for instance. Just give him another out. The mobility is nice. The knockback can be great against a hero like Rukon, which is very difficult to have a straight-up M1 duel with on pretty much every single melee hero in the game, you know? You just never want to find yourself in a
We'll see how this works getting into Game 3. Space Station Gaming versus Impact.
Fight.
1-1 is our match score up to this point. We're now entering Blackstone Night. The Jamila getting right in there, and a sit counter from Proster ensures a ton of damage onto Dizzler. My God, Crook's already down to half Dizzler. He's going to have to back up.
Yeah, look at Proster's aggression just running at Veg.
Oh,
that follow-up is gross. A nice consume is going to get rid of some of that damage. Jamila surfing for the in-cap, but Veg going to be able to make it out. But Impact at such an HP deficit right now. Actually, not that much as Proster's been chunked hard as well.
Yeah, Veg, he tries to use his EX grab to get his ally with him. A little bit of a scary situation here. The Prowl is available for Dizzler, and even though Dizzler had the roughest start, he's now had the highest HP on Impact, but that might not be for long. The Older ultimate comes out from Gadolf, and Dizzler uses it to just reconnect with his ally. The in-cap coming out here, the quicksand going to deal quite a bit of damage to Gadolf and Impact. They're just being trapped in this corner, Crooks.
Yeah, pretty defensive, smart, Older ultimate, but once again, these strange pockets at the bottom and top of Blackstone Knight. This is really an Achilles heel for Impact as they're just forced into this shooting gallery. It feels like a verse is taking them to task with the shotgun. They are taking a lot of damage. The follow-up on Vic just barely able to R out, but a nice M1 from Bloom confirms the kill.
Yeah, beautiful M1 predicting where Vague would go. He ends up finishing the kill, but they get Proster in the meantime. Dizzler and Gaddafi, they are at a slight HP disadvantage, but this is not something that you can just run over if you're Spacestation Gaming. And the ultimate from Gaddafi lands onto Bloom. Bloom in a lot of trouble here. EXM1 being used by Dizzler to heal himself up a little bit. And this is a scary situation as he eats the EXM1, has nowhere to go.
That was so scary. Proster playing so aggressively in that 3v2 and losing his life. This was close in the flesh. This could have been a lost round for SSG, and they would have been incredibly upset about that if it had been.
Yeah, and now that's a big one, of course. Averse in a 2v2 against the other best Jumong in the world. Averse definitely wanting to win that one, and that's one that he's going to feel pretty prideful about. For good reason, Dizzler and Averse both so low, but at the end of the day, Spacestation Gaming going to be able to take it. We'll see if maybe with a slightly better start, Impact can come back into it, as that start was incredibly rough.
Yeah, it's just so odd as well to be worked into those pockets on the bottom of Blackstone Knight. It feels like there's no space for Impact to retreat to position differently, and there's not a whole easy way for Vague to get out. Of course, you can't hop walls with the Rukon space, so you get worked into a pocket like that, you're going to have a bad time.
Vague, he's trying to get in there. The empowered M1 is not going to get any value. He's going to consume his proc, though, which is going to lead to Proster taking quite some damage. I love that R from Vague as well. Relocating with his allies, and now Impact posting up mid. They want to take this orb, but we'll see if they get it, Crooks.
Yeah, look at these chunks they take out of Impact every time Averse moves forward with that Iva shotgun. The tractor beam stun on point, pulling Dizzler back.
God.
And they're going to pursue off of that stun. They have the flamethrower. Dizzler's going to have outs available right about now. He should be able to survive as Vegas just desperately trying to create space.
Impact getting chunked so hard there, but still Averse solo. Proster doing no better. The Sinister Strike will finish off the Jamila. She's out of this match, and so are the chances of Spacestation Gaming winning this one. The orb, it is secured by SSG. They may make me eat my words, but a beautiful pull from Vague makes Iva's life impossible, and Averse will go down.
The way SSG is able to take big chunks out of Impact's HP, definitely impressive at certain points, but Impact, they equalize just so well. The Jumong, once he is able to set up, it feels like they take all that pressure that was asserted onto them and just return it right back.
2-2 round score. Moving into round 3, of course, the match score in this game is 1-1 upper bracket advantage going to Spacestation Gaming, so Impact have a long road ahead of them. We'll see if they can continue on that road with a game win here, but they need to keep up that momentum they built in round 2.
For sure, nice pull starting it off with Fake. Proster getting his counter hit as well. Look at the way they're opening up on Older here. I think a little bit more attention on Older is nice, and Fake chucks so hard. He's so lucky he didn't hit the hook shot, but he's dead anyways, and look at that SSG respond.
Dude, Vague got absolutely destroyed. That taser opening from Averse, the perfect timing, recognizing that Vague wanted to initiate the taser timing, leading to about 60 damage, and from that point on, Vague, he had to play so defensively, but without that consume, he had nothing to use, and he just got ruined.
You can absolutely end up in a situation like that as Rukon. You've got to be so careful. Vague, of course, has gone that double space battle, right? Double Sinister Strike on the Rukon, but if you're out of that and you don't have energy for R, you're going to have a very, very difficult time just kind of waddling out of there. Consume, you know, it's only going to give you another charge in your M1. It's not going to help you in any other way.
You're absolutely right. You desperately need to farm up enough energy on Vague for that R. It's the most important ability in Rukon's kit for him to get away. Spacestation Gaming spacing very early. Averse going far back, and Vague trying to initiate onto him, but the taser again. Impeccable timings from Averse.
Yeah, and this is such a bad start for Vague again. Forced to R out, under threat at the tractor beam stun. Proster continuing the aggression on Jamila, gets his counter hit as well, trying to do some clever positioning in the stealth, but it's not going to matter. SSG going to confirm the first orb.
Yep, SSG taking the first orb, and with it, map advantage in the center. And in cap into quicksand combo down bottom onto Gaddafi. Very cute play here from Spacestation Gaming. Playing very safe now. Impact, the damage, it's starting to come out here. They're going to try to find an older ultimate, but it's going to get no value now. Vague, he has to back up and reconnect with his team, but suddenly, look at Spacestation Gaming's health. Averse is at next to nothing, Crooks.
Yeah, this is where Dizzler does his thing. He's moving forward with the M1s, using all of his cooldowns to escape the Jamila. SSG has been able to push them back.
That was so sick! The taser into ultimate from Bloom! The Masters, SSG getting a beautiful combo, and with it, a kill on Vague. It looked like that round would go in favor of Impact. It might still, as Bloom getting incredibly low, but no, Gaddafi will fall, and my god, the team play from SSG absolutely incredible.
That's how you do it, ladies and gentlemen. At a more than slight disadvantage, SSG just play to their outs. They find that one opening, and you're right, the chain taser stun into the snap, older ultimate follow up. Very, very smart. The confidence it takes to do something like that, to know the timing, to see what your teammates are going to do, and just follow up immediately on that interrupt stun.
And now,
really impressive.
After the first round was so dominantly won by Impact, SSG has come back and won 3 in a row, and they seem like they might have been able to figure out how they need to play this. We'll see if Impact can come back this far. It's not looking like it'll be the case as Proster gets his counter procced and gets a decent amount of damage out onto his enemies.
Yeah, look at that movement, the sidestep on the Shadow Bolt from Proster. He's just ruining Vague's day completely. Up atop of Verse, playing very aggressively. He's just going to peel out now. What a great place. Wow. And the follow-up there. God up forced to roll. SSG wants this so bad. Iva going in. Unfortunately, God up going to have the space reset. They must collapse. They want to collapse so bad. There's 2 fights going on over here. SSG, are they going to be able to follow up on Dizzler or God up? There's God up. He goes down first. They were running at 2 people at the same time.
Dizzler and Godoff both getting destroyed in that one. They got split. All of that off the back of a beautiful Chrono Flux from Bloom in that choke early on that allowed Spacestation Gaming to aggress and just throw out huge hitboxes to get tons of damage onto Impact. And now we're at 4-1. We're at game point, and Spacestation Gaming are trying to go 2-1 in this best of 5 grand finals. They are looking strong, Crooks.
Yeah, this Iva pick in general is something that it seems like Impact is having some difficulty dealing with. The speed at which it runs, it just seems like they aren't comfortable maybe yet flexing to something that can necessarily shut down the Iva. The older combination just seems so strong when you combine a really powerful frontline melee hero like the Jamila, like the Rook. The Jamila is an interesting adaptation though, because it's clear that, you know, Impact has a solution for the Rook, maybe not for the Jamila pick from SSG.
Big damage to start this one off onto Dizzler. They return the favor onto Proster, who gets chunked a little bit here, and Vague, he's chasing in. We'll see if he gets punished for it. He does start to get punished for it, but he manages to R out. Doesn't get hit by that in cap. A beautiful counter there from Proster will ensure he doesn't take any damage from the Shadow Bolt, and the in cap going to secure the orb. Beautiful play from SSG.
Yeah, look at this tractor beam stun from Reverse, forcing Vague to space. Rukon so low on cooldowns here. They're going to chase him out. Fortunately for him, some of that damage from Bloom wasn't quite able to stick, as they're going to reset. Now Rain of Arrows is going to start doing a lot of work.
Yeah, look how split they are now because of those Rain of Arrows, but still the damage is coming out onto Dizzler. He still has to play very safe here, Crooks. The orb, it does go to Impact, but still within the realm of possibility for Spacestation Gaming. The older ultimate is going to get nothing in the counters proc. This is getting kind of scary now. A nice consume prevents the Phantom Strike from being applied, but still, Impact, they're caught in this corner, and Spacestation Gaming are looking like they're going to get a lot of damage on Dizzler right here. The combo, he gets so low here. The Black Arrows used and the Prowl, he's got nothing left. The EXM1 going to come from across the map, but instead he's simply going to fall into Jamila's M1 after the older ultimate. This is still possible for Impact. He got the kill on a burst with an EXM1, and now suddenly Impact, they're at a 10% HP advantage.
Yeah, I think Impact have got this. This is a difficult 2v2 for Bloom and Proster to attempt to win. Jamila's so good in these dueling situations as long as Proster can maintain most of his real HP, and they are playing aggressive. I like that.
Older ultimate coming out here. Bloom gonna use it. The Sinister Strike is gonna come over. Wow, Vrake getting so much damage out, but still Godolph going down. You just, I think, jinxed Impact here. You said it would be so hard for Bloom and Proster, but you cannot doubt Spacestation Gaming. Perfect. In a 2v2 situation, they dominate. They win 5-1. Spacestation Gaming going up in this best of 5, 2-1.
Perfect execution from the older ultimates all this game from Bloom. I've been so impressed. The way he's just willing to pull the trigger on that at the perfect scenarios. He just won them the 2v2 with that as well. I don't feel bad about doubting it, because on paper, the Rukon older just looks so strong, but being able to close it out like that, playing so aggressively, knowing that they can't really allow Impact to try and stabilize in that 2v2.
And I mean, the fact that you don't regret saying that you thought that was hard for Spacestation Gaming just speaks volumes about how good they are. Even in unfavorable situations, they see their win condition, and Bloom takes it immediately with a beautiful ultimate, being able to find the kill onto Godolph. And without Godolph, Vague just can't do that in a 1v2 situation with no energy.
SSG up 2-1. Potentially, this next best of 5 could be the last, or the next game, rather.
Yeah.
This best of 5 could be the last. I mean, I'm so interested to see what Impact has on the table for potentially their last comp. You know, this is a team where we always talk about the comp versatility, the amount of picks, the way they sort of view the draft as these minor little outplays, faking people into picking certain things and then learning how to beat that. What do they have in the tank for this? And already we've seen the mirror pick olders. come out again.
Yeah, the Olders again here. Ormond Temple Knight is going to be our map, so it's very close. It's possible off the back of that we see a switch to a Rook maybe. But the thing I'm concerned about is I don't want to see Veg on Rukon anymore. I understand that Impact feels very good about this Rukon pick, and in certain rounds, Veg looks incredible. But overall, in the grand scheme of things, in this tournament, when Veg has played Rukon, he has lost the
They're doing it again.
The significant majority of his
Impact
matches.
on Rukon. SSG has picked Iva.
Impact hasn't won with Rukon against Spacestation Gaming yet. I understand you want to play what you've been playing and practicing, but they have no momentum with this Rukon. Unless they change up the older pick, or change up the Jumong pick, I don't know if they're going to have anything to do against Spacestation Gaming.
They may feel that this map is somehow different than Blackstone Knight. Blackstone Knight, a very strange map. There it is, Impact on the Jumong. They're going to run it back with the exact same comp. SSG is going to respond with the Jamila. A lot of people feel the Jamila is just super good against Jumong comps as well. She just runs so hard. Proster has been on top of it. I dare say, you know, we've heard all these whispers about the god of Jamila, but Proster's the one who's stuck with this pick throughout this series, and Proster has looked fantastic on it. Like, I'm the Jamila now.
Yeah,
you know
I'm the Jamila.
You thought you had the pocket pick.
Yeah.
Psych.
Everybody thought Gaddafi was the one that had the pocket pick Jamila, but at the end of the day, Proster is looking undestructible on this character. And Ormond Temple Knight is not a map that I want to play against Jamila on. Proster going to have everything working in his favor to take it this game. This is a very scary situation for Impact. This is their tournament life on the line. If Impact loses one more match, they are out, and Spacestation Gaming will be the winners, taking home $10,000 and the pride of being the best in the world.
This is unbelievable that it's taking place on Ormond Night 2, potentially the last game of the tournament. I mean, this map is funky. We've seen the tiny corridors. It's so good to have heroes like Older who can lock down large areas of space, but at the same time, it is kind of a melee heroes playground. You know, Rukon going to be able to be very disruptive still on this map. Jamila going to be able to hop around a lot. It's going to be very, very easy to get those hop recasts on these walls. That being said, you know, will Impact try and just play it differently to run it back? Impact, again, I can't stress this enough. Like, they are not dead until they're dead.
Absolutely.
You got to check the pulse before you count Impact out, you know what I mean? And I think this is a team capable of learning, capable of adapting to a new map. So I don't know. I got to see it to believe it.
Yeah, of course. I'm riding the train of the anti-Rukon, of course, because they've been losing the matches with it. But like you mentioned, this is Impact. If any team is capable of adjusting how they need to play mid-game, this is the team that can do it. And even though they're running with the same characters, these maps might not look the same if they just switch up a couple of things. Whether or not they're able to do it, whether or not Dizzler is able to have a little bit more space and Veg is able to trade more favorably, we'll see. But that's what needs to happen. Veg needs to be set up to succeed in these early parts of this game.
Yeah, absolutely. We've seen Veg pops off so hard, and I think we've talked about it before, part of teamwork is knowing sort of when to hand the ball to somebody else, when somebody else should be the focus here, and I think you're absolutely right. Rukon can come through big for them. Veg is so mechanically talented, and he knows exactly what to do with this hero, exactly how to come out ahead, drop the big beast forms, you know, deal huge amounts of damage with the big smacks. But they need to set him up to succeed. Yeah,
and we're hitting you with this dry analysis, but my God, I cannot overstate how important this game is. This is potentially the last game of DreamHack Summer, the last game of Season 1. Let's go, let's see it. Let's see if Spacestation Gaming can pull it out. SSG versus Impact, Game 4. Game 4, Crooks. Ormond Temple Knight is where we're playing. The Jamila going right in onto Veg, and the taser timing from Averse, stellar.
Yeah, great consume as well. The follow-up rain of arrows from Dizzler. Look how aggressive Dizzler is playing, but I love the bubble placement there from Bloom, discouraging him. Unfortunately, Proster's counter is hit. The follow-up from Jumong iframes it, but Proster canceled the R as well, so he's still going to have it at his disposal. In the meantime, Godob getting absolutely hammered.
Dude, Proster is doing everything right here, though he does have a moment of weakness. He gets the zap, which negates a lot of damage, and the pull is missed. So unfortunate for Veg. That was a big moment.
Yeah, and Godob doing his fanciest footwork here, attempting to stay alive, but he's separated from his team completely. This is usually going to spell death for a lot of high-level competitive play. You get split from your teammates, you're going to have a rough time. Averse throws out the zoning ultimate just to ensure that his teammates are able to get the orb. Space is in, playing aggressively, trying to create space. Unfortunately, Dizzler on the run. Proster now has no HP to work with.
Dizzler ends up falling to the Jamila pressure, and my God, Proster is looking like the best player in the world at this LAN. Playing absolutely incredibly, getting all of the damage out. This isn't over, however, as they find a kill onto Proster. We'll see if they can keep it up here. The older of blue getting pretty low, and a Shadow Bolt reflected by Bloom gonna finish off the Rukon and Space Station Gaming. They have the momentum. They're continuing it onto this game.
Yeah, nothing has changed. It's very clear they haven't really adapted to being able to stop this pressure from SSG. They're still running exactly as hard as they were before. Their orb control has been impeccable, and I love their willingness to sort of make plays that allow themselves to take the center of the map. It's going to be just so important because from there they can play aggressive from any angle they want. They have options.
Round 2. Game 4, Grand Finals, DreamHack Summer BPL Season 1. The important information, I'm hitting you with it. We'll see if Proster can play as well as he did the last round. This counter, not going to get procced, but he does space away before the empowered M1 of Vague hits him. A big Shadow Bolt, though, deals a ton of damage to Proster, and he's going to have to play a little bit safe here. As I say that, a beautiful taser again. A versus taser timing's insane, getting a stun onto Vague and ensuring a lot of damage has been taken. And on the other side, the Jumong is getting so low. Dizzler's having no room in avert, or not averse, but Proster rather, is giving him no more. Dizzler can't do anything, Crooks.
These rounds move so fast. Look at Proster over there. Gets stopped a little bit by Vague, but they collapse on him instantly. 2 spaces over the wall. Vague is down. Dizzler has barely any HP to work with. SSG low 2 in their own respects, but they're going for the juggler here. Great tractor beam timing to stun the older, confirm the kill off of that. Dizzler's going to be the last to fall.
This is quickly looking like it's going to fall apart here for Impact as this Rukon pick is being perfectly handled by Averse and his Iva. The tasers reliably hitting Rukon in key moments. Even though you never see Rukon's Averse and the way he's playing looks like he's played against millions. He has this flowchart down. He understands what Vague wants to do and when, and he's punishing him flawlessly, Crooks.
Yeah, the Iva timings are just looking so good. That's what you need to be doing, is you need to be interfering with the melee player's presence with these taser interrupts, with the tractor beam pulls. I particularly love the pulls. The positioning has been on point.
Space Station Gaming, we'll see if they can get this once again. Pressure from Vague being a little bit more successful this round, and Proster hasn't yet found his in. He misses the hook shot, a little bit unfortunate here. And Space Station Gaming, Bloom up top, taking a lot from the rain of arrows. This is a different round in Impact. They're looking like they might be able to take it. Bloom has been able to make it away, but I'm not sure for how long. This orb might be taken here, but both Chrono Flux is being dropped for it. Space Station Gaming gonna take it, but Impact gonna take Bloom's life.
Yeah, every once in a while, man, Dizzler just finds the fleshy part of your neck and just goes right for it. The Jumong damage there, absolutely disgusting. The follow-up from Vague was great, pushing Bloom around the wall, collapsing on him afterwards. Dizzler's spacing is just perfect this game. Textbook Impact round there, shoving him off, punishing perfectly.
And Impact needed this. They had no momentum. They were falling so far behind so quickly. If they had lost more rounds, this mountain would have started to be they would have been unable to climb this mountain. But now with this momentum, with this round, Impact might have found their way back into this game, but they need to keep it up. Vague, he needs to continue to have openers like this, and they need to shut out Proster. So many needs for Impact, but I'm not sure they're going to be able to keep this up.
Yeah, and doing all of that while navigating kind of that minefield of the Iva potential CC, all of those interrupts that Averse is bringing to the table, very, very difficult.
Proster, he misses his in, but he has Vague wrapping around the top, and he immediately spaces in to try to find damage on to Dizzler. Finds his way down bottom, the Zap Shield being committed to him, but Vague, he's already taken a pretty significant amount of damage. He wraps around back, and Gaddafi doing not much better. Proster, once again, the story of this game, ruining Impact as a whole.
Yeah, look at his aggression here on Dizzler, just not letting the Jumong breathe at all, controlling the resources at top perfectly as well. Playing the walls, of course, is the name of the game with Jamila. Looking for those recasts, cancels it even, so he doesn't proc the older bubble. The ulti is gonna come in, it's gonna CC Proster. Vague with the grab, once again on the back line, is gonna be just harassing Averse forces defensively space here. What can Vague get done?
God.
Caught out alone.
The double rain of arrows dealing so much damage. The Zap committed to healing the older, but still, too much damage has been done. And it looks like Space Station Gaming are going to have a tall mountain to climb if they want back in this round. The end cap coming out onto the Jumong. Dizzler taking quite a bit himself, but up top, Proster's Jamila so low. He's still alive, but without a counter, I'm not sure he's much longer for this world. They don't get the kill. Oh my God! They managed to kill Vague! Crooks, what happened?
Proster's movement is unbelievable. The footsies there were ridiculous. The way he spaced that out with one sliver of HP, getting the damage down, knowing that he needed to make space for his teammates at all costs. He goes in there with no HP, channels that Jamila R for the big stun that his teammates can follow up on, and they manage to make the kill happen, and he lives on top of it. I mean, being willing to throw yourself to the meat grinder to make something good happen, it's just the mark of a teammate that knows exactly what they're doing.
Dude, My heart is racing. 124 beats a minute, and Proster is playing like a god. This kid looks unstoppable. I didn't think that he would look this good on land, but without ping, I don't know how Impact is going to handle this Jamila.
It just looks so difficult. They get pushed into the corners. There's walls all over him, and that's exactly where Jamila wants to be. The double traps down from Dizzler, but he's been CC'd to death. Doesn't have any energy to deal with Proster. A little bit separated from his teammates here. SSG not going to be able to confirm the orb either. Impact has a lot of resources to work with this round.
The older ultimate dropped from Bloom, but it is answered by Godof's own. But Bloom has his ultimate, but this is a bad situation. He's got no time bender and no space. And he's taking a little bit of damage to the empowered M1 from Veg, but once again, the taser, it gets the stun, and Dizzler, the damage coming out onto this boy is very significant. He has to back up, and the ultimate even is popped off by Veg, but the orb isn't even gonna be secured from that energy spend. This is looking so bad, but at first, he is the one weak spot for Spacestation Gaming. We'll see if Impact can capitalize, and they do. A verse gets popped, and now Spacestation Gaming looking like the weak link here. They might fall. Proster trying to find something, needs an in cap, but he's not going to get anything. Impact, a beautiful capitalization on a versus weakness there.
Yeah, he tried to throw the Jamila ulti, but it just missed. It wasn't enough damage. The older ulti was well timed by Godov, and Impact are going to answer with a round of their own. Again, if you can set Dizzler up for success, this guy is unbelievably effective at what he does. If you can slow the pace of the game, if you can get a verse out of a situation where you can just throw all of those disruptive cooldowns, if you can get Proster the hell away from your support and range players at any cost, Dizzler's going to be able to open the game up a little bit. It feels like it's all on Veg's shoulders to create space for his teammates.
Round 6. A lapse in the intensity coming out here, but the counter of Proster not going to get hit. Similar to the way the last rounds have been starting, Proster being absolutely zoned out. The Rukon getting in there, applying a lot of pressure like you mentioned. He is being successful like he needs to be. The Bloom older is getting harassed down. The adverse Iva being punished by this Rukon. The empowered M1 healing him up for so much and dishing out so much damage. And the counter's not hit from Proster. Spacestation Gaming, they have no place in this round, and Proster is dead.
Yeah, just assassinated by Dizzler there. The accuracy is absolutely on point. The double rain of arrows especially locking Proster in place over and over again. The start from Impact, how they start these rounds is so important. If they can manage the Jamila early on, get Jumong those resources. We talk about it all the time, but you need to make the space for Dizzler to do what he's good at. And so much of that rests on Veg and Godov responding to the early start from SSG is so important. Proster wants to go in. If you can stop him from doing that, double bear trap, rain of arrows, well-placed bubble by Godov maybe after he has 1 bar of energy available, that's the only way you're going to make this train stop.
After going down 3-1, Impact have clawed their way back to win these last 2 rounds. We'll see if Veg can keep it up. He's been playing excellently here, and Proster has been punished accordingly. We'll see if it happens here. A nice taser in conjunction with a hook shot from Proster enables Dizzler to take a little bit of damage here, but Bloom, he's not in a great situation, Crooks. He gets pulled in by the Rukon, but doesn't actually end up taking too much damage, and look at Godov. He takes so much here, and he's gone.
Yeah, flamethrower through the shield, no problem. The in-cap setup was so nice. The oil applied by an offensive space from reverse, really well coordinated by SSG there, and the punish is brutal. Another one of those rounds that barely even able to stretch past the first orb.
Red team looking so dominant here. Spacestation Gaming trying to take down this Rukon. Dizzler is the first to go. Veg running as far away as he can. We'll see if he can make anything happen, but the rocket is going to ensure he doesn't. And Crooks, this is tournament point. Spacestation Gaming with 1 more round will be crowned the best team in the world and take home the $10,000 at the first Battlerite LAN.
Yep, and they look cool and calm. You see them on the feed right there, all of them incredibly focused. They want this to be over. They know it can be over right now. A little bit of calm, clean play, and they'll be right up there. Proster's aggression on Jamila has been world-class, and the follow-up from his teammates has been so good. They just can't let Impact stall them out.
My eyes are on Proster. Seeing if he gets a good engage here is key. He finds the hook shot, Crooks. He spaces it immediately to Dizzler, and the Phantom Cut is applied. His R does not connect, but he still has not taken much damage. Bloom has spaced in an unideal situation and gets punished accordingly. Dizzler dropping that rain of arrows. The Chrono Flux is dropped, but it's not going to do nearly enough. And now Veg, he's on the hunt. He wants Bloom, but gets punished for it. Down to half is Veg. This is not the ideal situation for the Rukon. Proster, we'll see if he can get anything done. The in-cap is going to land on Dizzler on the right side of the map, but Proster's getting so low. The hook shot comes in and Bloom drops the ultimate. Not going to land, however, is Godov has an ultimate of his own, and down bottom getting so low is Bloom. He does make it out, though. Gaddafi might! Oh, Gaddafi does not die. They find the kill on Proster instead. Looking like it's going to stabilize for Spacestation Gaming, but Bloom once again getting so low. Impact going to pull this one out, it looks like, if they manage to find the kill onto Averse. The Prowl coming out, Averse running in, or not Averse, but rather Dizzler finding the kill, the Dragon Slayer hitting. Averse going to go down.
An unbelievably close, unbelievably hype round there, all culminating in the bottom left there. Anything could have happened, I feel like. Just an Aaron M1 creeping its way around an older bubble could have been death for either team, but they managed to traverse that situation, and Impact are going to tie this one up 4-4. Still potential tournament point for SSG. If Impact are able to swing one more round, they are going to get one more opportunity to bring this all the way to a bracket reset best of 5.
Impact, if they don't win this round, they're out of the tournament. Spacestation Gaming will win if they take it. Big playing very safe to start this one off, and Averse getting punished. He has to space back, but that opens up Jamila. The Jamila pressure onto Dizzler is pretty massive, but the counter, it's not procced Crooks, and immediately Proster starts to be punished. The Prowl, it's used. Dizzler down bottom, trying to play safe here. A beautiful rain of arrows, dealing a ton of damage, and the counter's not touched. Impact not going to want that at all, and the Orb going to go to Spacestation Gaming. Much more patient play this round.
Yeah, the counter reads on Jamila have been absolutely clinical by Impact, but I don't know if it'll matter. They forced to R so defensively over the wall, and Averse is going to have a lot of space there. Goes for the in-cap.
Oh, this is bad.
Land it. Vague has pulled himself forward by accident. Jamila, unfortunately, going to whiff the in-cap. Now Dizzler is in a lot of trouble. He's used his Prowl. Averse not able to catch him with the end of that tractor beam. That was so close.
The Orb goes to Spacestation Gaming, and they have a 40% HP lead. They might be able to find the kill here on Dizzler. The damage is there. The black arrow's used to get him out. The Phantom Cut is still applied. Averse getting so low. Averse goes in and gets punished. Impact playing flawlessly to finish off that Iva.
And I think this might be it, unless Proster and Bloom are able to work an absolute miracle. Look how safe Godoff is playing. He has the older ult at his disposal. In case anybody gets in trouble, he's just going to bail his teammate out there. Dizzler has the space. Proster looking for the follow-up. Dizzler lives barely with 1 HP to grab the green. Godoff goes over to shield him as well. This isn't over yet. Bloom and Proster are still so terrifying.
Proster dealing so much damage, and they get the kill! Oh, Dizzler is dead, and this is now totally doable. Proster, he goes in, the ultimate being popped off. They might be able to find the kill here. They might be able to burn through it! Space Station Gaming, the 2v3, can they do it? They need to find this Gaddafi. Space Station Gaming is the best team in the world! A 2v3 to finish the game! My God!
What is going on? My expectations for Battlerite shattered completely. What looked like a potential Game 5 of this best of 5 denied. A 2v3 by Proster and Bloom.
Space Station Gaming, inarguably, are the 3 best players on the planet. Bloom, Proster, Averse, demolishing this tournament, making Impact look like nobody's. Amazing play. The last game, incredibly close, but still being able to clutch it out. The comps they ran, the adjustments they made, Space Station Gaming, flawless play.
Yeah, the way they coordinated together, the confidence they show when they play is really quite unbelievable. They fear nobody, and the way they work together is really quite incredible. The older ults, the coordination by their teammates was just unbelievable.
Holding up the trophy. Enjoy this moment. You don't know when you'll have it again. Beautiful play, incredible players. Space Station Gaming, the Battlerite World Champions of Season 1.
I don't know what to say about that. Give them their moment, you know? I feel like they've earned it.
This is one of those moments that these players do not know when they'll have again. An incredible moment. I can't help but feel incredibly happy for all of them. They've worked for years. Averse, he's been on that stream grind since the game was released. He's always been trying to get better. He has, and it's showing here as he destroys the grand finals. My God, I talk about Averse, but at the end of the day, Proster, I think Proster is the best player in the world.
It was pretty ridiculous, you know, flexing to that Jamila, not being afraid of sort of those shadowy rumors of a god of Jamila, just doing what he does best, and look who we have here.
The gang's all here. Space Station Gaming, the best 3 players in the world. How does it feel, guys?
It feels amazing.
Dude, it feels amazing.
Yeah.
It feels really good.
Absolutely amazing.
Now, you guys, the Croak pick didn't work out for you when you tried to bring it back against Impact. Was that a rough moment for you guys, or was it relatively easy to shake off?
I think we were a bit upset at first, but we can't stay upset during the tournament because we always have to just keep going and can't get tilted. And we realized Jamila was really OP still, so just keep picking Jamila and hopefully it worked.
Absolutely. And speaking of Jamila, Proster, you played incredibly. I was saying it mid-game, I think with that performance, you've cemented your position as the best melee in the world, if not the best player. How do you feel, man?
Dude, I feel amazing, dude. Like, oh my God, when Verse died, I thought we were gonna lose that and we're gonna go to a final match. Then I saw like how we punished. I saw Dizzler burn his escapes. And I noticed Bloom had ult, so I knew we can come in and punish the Jumong. And at the end of the day, we finished it.
2v3.
It was crazy.
2v3 to finish off the tournament.
Verse almost through.
Classic of
I still
Verse.
believe we could have won that.
Yeah,
so
classic
we
of Verse.
did,
So.
Yeah, incredibly well played, guys. Averse, how does it feel, man? Like I mentioned, you've been grinding this game since it came out. I remember you stomping me in 2v2 tournaments back in the day. You have played this game non-stop. How does it feel to finally reach the pinnacle, the top of the mountain?
It feels amazing. I'm glad I did it with these guys. I couldn't have asked for a better team, honestly. It feels great. The communication and synergy on stage, no tilting. Just the games, they feel so smooth, and we get, even if we're down like a comp, or we just figure it out and we move on to the next game. It feels great, and it's the best moment so far.
Yeah, incredible job, guys. I'm very impressed with how you all played. Crooks, how are you feeling about this moment?
I mean, it's really incredible. You know, I feel like I've known you guys for a while now, and we've kind of been doing our thing for a long time, and to finally get some validation, you know, that it's all been worth it, and to be here is just phenomenal.
Of course, this isn't the end of the road. We have 2 more seasons of BPL scheduled up. Season 2 starting in just about a month, and with another event happening at the end of Season 3. An incredibly exciting moment for Battlerite as Spacestation Gaming is crowned the #1 team in the world. Huge props to these players. Thank you guys for watching. Incredible moment for Battlerite. We'll be signing out.